A very good noon to all of you. I am Nikita and I welcome you to this session. Today we are going to talk about the importance of grammar in CAT and OMATs. Now, I'm sure that you have attended the first part of this session where Vikrant sir talked to you about why grammar is important in CAT, why in the other management entrance tests, and he also practiced certain questions with you. Right? So, today, building on that, again, I'll talk to you about what all you need to do, right, in order to build your grammar skills. And secondly, again, we are going to practice some questions, and through those questions, we are going to learn some concepts. Okay, so welcome to the session. Hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everyone. All right. Okay. All right. So let's look at why grammar is important for CAT. Now, I'm sure you know that in CAT you get RC passages, you get some paragraph based questions such as para jumbles, para completion, and grammar helps you in all of these. Why? Because ultimately, grammar is meant to help you to understand things, to understand a paragraph, to understand a passage. In case you do not have the knowledge of tenses, let's say, then you will not know whether a sentence that is written in front of you, whether it is talking about something happening in the present or something that happened in the past, right? So, accurate comprehension of paragraphs and passages requires grammar. So, it's the basic building block of language, right? Then, why else do we require it? We require it to make connections in parajumbles, a very important job that grammar can do for us. Specifically, adverbial conjunctions can do for us, right? Those connecting words such as but, however, additionally, etc. Right? Okay. Hi, Sai. Hello, monkey. Good noon. And I'll show you this question today. It'll help you, grammar can help you in attempting para completion questions as well. So, if you are aware, last year, CAT asked two para completion questions in all the three slots, right? Now, in these para completion questions, I'll just show you the pattern and then it'll be clearer to you. Grammar again helped you in plugging in the sentence in the right position. So, even in CAT, particularly for the VA part, okay, we have VA and RC, particularly for the VA part, grammar can be extremely useful. Okay, all right, so let's see. This is your first question. This is a CAT previous year question, okay, and a sentence is missing from this paragraph. You have to tell me the correct position of this sentence. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? That's what you have to tell me. And grammar is going to help you here. Okay, so fix it and then I'll show you how grammar helped. Yes. Sai, yes, it is important for your VA part, okay, for understanding the connections between sentences, it is important. Let's see what you say for this. Okay. What do you say, Monkey D. Luffy? All right. Sai, what do you say? Ashmita says 4. Okay. 3. All right. 2. Sai says 2. So I've got 2, 3, 4. All right. So diverse responses, varied responses. And see here, this sentence starts with this. This was years in the making. So the natural question that arises is, what was years in the making? This was years in the making. That means it was something that was constantly building up over the years, right? That's what I'm trying to say. This was years in the making, but fast tracked, but it accelerated during the pandemic. So, what? When and why did it accelerate? When people started being more mindful about their food, he explained. Who explained? So there are two important clues for you, grammatical clues for you. Two pronouns have been used, this and he. They refer to someone and they refer to something, right? And I can see here Karmakar, a name is mentioned. For Karmakar, a renewed interest in ghee is emblematic, is symbolic of a return to basics movement in India. Right? So for this guy, and I haven't named this guy before. So, most likely, this sentence that addresses him as he is going to come after this. Right? So, it's either 3 or 4. 1 and 2 should be eliminated. Now, let's find the noun for this. Let's find the antecedent for this. What was years in the making? Right? So, if you see, we are talking about a renewed interest in ghee. It is symptomatic of a return to basics movement in India. Right. Then we say this movement is also part of an overall trend towards slow food. It is also part of an overall trend towards slow food. In keeping with the movement's philosophy, ghee can be produced locally, even at home, and has inextricable cultural ties. So we are talking about the manufacturing process, right? So we've come to the manufacturing process here. The discussion has somehow veered away from a renewed interest in ghee. There is a renewed interest in ghee. Okay. Now, this was years in the making. This renewed interest in ghee, this interest in ghee was building up over the years, but it fast tracked during the pandemic. Why? Because people started being more mindful about their food. Okay, so that is why we are talking about this here. Okay, and I'm calling this renewed interest as a movement. I'm addressing it as a movement. So if you want to ask what is the exact antecedent, we call it the antecedent, the noun to which this refers to. Okay, that is movement. So this movement was years in the making, but this movement fast tracked during the pandemic. Right? It is also part of it. So first, what is it a part of? What is actually a reason? Being mindful. The second reason is that there is an overall trend towards slow food. So, grammar helps you every step of the way through the noun pronoun relationship here, through the noun pronoun relationship here. Then, the moment you see the word also, that means I'm adding to a previous idea. So, first I'm stating, okay, one reason for renewed interest is mindfulness. Second is this trend towards slow food. So, also helps, right? Hope this makes sense to you. How grammar can be helpful even in those questions that appear to be non-grammar questions in the first glance. And this is a previous year question, so it's not like I'm making up easy questions for you. All right. Then you know that all your OMATs, all your other management entrance tests, they do ask direct grammar based questions. I'm not talking about para completion, para jumbles here. I'm talking about direct grammar questions. Identify the correct sentence, identify the incorrect sentence, those types of questions. So if you're taking any of these, and of course, I am I'm actually assuming that you take more than one entrance test, more than one management entrance test in order to diversify your risk, isn't it? So, if you're planning on taking any of these, then you have to learn grammar. You have to study the basics of grammar, right? Okay. Then, now, what are the question types that are asked in OMATs? So, these are the question types that I have come across over the years. Sentence correction. So either the whole sentence or a fragment of sentence has an error, then it is written in 4 or 5 different ways depending on the number of options, and you have to find the grammatically correct one. So sentence correction. Error spotting. Here You just have to sentence. Here, multiple sentences can be written. So let's say four different sentences are written. One of them is correct, you have to spot that. Or one of them is incorrect, you have to spot that. And fill in the blanks. The ubiquitous question type, something that you'll find in all the non-CAT exams, the fill in the blanks based on vocabulary or grammar. Okay, so here we are talking about grammar based, of course. All right. Then there are some other question types also that may not be again directly related to grammar but can make use of grammar concepts in your answering them. So for instance, match the following. Now, sometimes when match the following questions ask you to join sentences, let's say fragment A is written in column A and fragment B of the sentence is written in column B, right? So this joining may require knowledge of grammar, and sometimes you get direct grammar questions in the form of match the following. So let's say five words are written here and their parts of speech are written here. Parts of speech. You have to match the word with the correct part of speech. Right? Such questions have been asked in IIFT, in NMAT. Okay. SNAP also, in fact. Then word usage questions. So these word usage questions, when I ask you, okay, what is the correct usage of the word since? Now, the word since is a conjunction and a preposition. You know that, right? So, of course, the usage of the word will be governed by its part of speech, whether it is acting as a preposition here or a conjunction here. Okay, and when is it used as a preposition? So, that means word usage questions also have elements of grammar at times. And lastly, common confusables, where I ask you the difference between two very close words. Either they have similar pronunciation or they have similar spellings. Okay, such words are called common confusables. So, for instance, if I ask you, will it come here or it apostrophe s come here? Commonly confused. Will there come here or there come here? These are grammar concepts only, aren't they? So, your grammar questions can be of this type, the most frequent types, and they can be of these types as well. Okay. Other than BYJU'S book, okay. So, books for RCs, if you found those passages to be challenging, Sai, um, I would suggest that you start with the early CAT papers. You know, in the early CAT papers, you will find that the passages are lengthier, but they are easier to comprehend. Okay, and the questions based on them are easier. They are more direct in nature. So I think these RC passages, they'll help you to build your reading speed. Okay, because they are lengthy. Secondly, because the questions are easier, you will first learn how to hunt information within a given passage rather than, let's say, comprehending and inferring, right? So you can start with early CAT papers, right? That, and then, gradually proceed to the more recent RCs, which have become relatively trickier in terms of questions also. Okay, so that should help. All right. Now, let's have a look at this question. Here you have to find out which of the above sentences are grammatically correct, right? And these are your options, 5 options, because this is a that previous year question. So today I'll try to show you the various types of questions, sentence correction, error spotting, so all diverse questions, and of course we're going to learn some concepts through them, right? Okay, tell me what the answer for this one should be. Sorry for this. B, A, all right. What else? E, okay. All right. B, A, E. Okay. So I've got four responses so far. So, if you look at this, read the following sentences and answer the questions that follow. So, the instructions don't hold anything significant here. This is your instruction. So, first things first is that you should read this correctly, whether you have to find something that is grammatically correct or grammatically incorrect. Students make a lot of errors here. Okay. Now, let's find the easiest one out of these. I think this one is pretty obvious. If you look at 5 versus 6, the is not really required here. The life moves forward, teaches backward. Why the life? Yes. So, eliminated. 5 is correct. See, life is an abstract noun, right? Life is an abstract noun. Now, abstract nouns usually do not take the before them. They do not take the before them. So, for instance, if I talk about happiness, sorrow, okay, they do not take the. Patriotism, they do not take the. Similarly with life. So, 5 is the correct one, right? So, right at this juncture, I am able to eliminate B, C, and D. Now, it comes down to 3 versus 4, these two. You do not even need to evaluate these if you're confident about your 5, 6. Now, if I look at these, this one is definitely incorrect because there are just two people and this uses among, right? So 4 goes away. The moment 4 goes away, you know that A is your answer. Okay, let's see how many of you said A. So I got Monkey the Luffy who said A and Ashmita said A, right? Just two people. Okay. Now, let's have a look at between versus among, an important concept. Now, these two are prepositions, and in the class on prepositions, I discussed these. I remember. So, between, we have been told, is used for two people, right? When we want to talk about something happening between two people or two entities. So, whereas among is used when I'm talking about more than two people or entities. This is what we have been told. But if this is the case, then how is 3 correct? Because then in 3, among should be used. There are 3 people, Jessica, Neha, and Swati, isn't it? So that means this rule is incomplete. There is something more to it. Between can be used for more than 2 people also when they have been distinctly named. When they have been distinctly named. For instance, here Jessica, Neha, Swati, 3 distinct names. So I should use between here and not among. Using among will be incorrect. However, if instead of their names it were written three friends. Now they have not been named. Okay, they have not been named. They are not distinct. Now I should use among here. Okay, now I should use strictly among here and not between. Hope this makes sense. All right, so the answer here is 1, 3, and 5. Okay, now why, in my opinion, instead of according to me? Yes, why, in my opinion, instead of according to me? According to me is incorrect. Okay, when I am talking about something that I feel, I think, I believe, I cannot say according to, because according to means I'm citing or quoting someone else. That's why it should be in my opinion, and hence A. So you can say in my view also, in my opinion also. Right? Okay, so Monkey D. Luffy, probably I took it for MA CET students, right? Okay, let's have a look at this. Question 3. This is from IFT 2022. Let's see what you say. Okay, so just showing you the questions that come in various exams, grammar questions from various exams. Read the instructions. Okay, just a second. Radha Vinod, we do have sessions for CMAT. In fact, I think tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow there is a CMAT session itself, right? Tomorrow at 12, there's a CMAT session. Okay, so don't worry. Then Yogita is asking, Yogita, actually, this is a confusing question. I'll tell you why. Uh, I have great antipathy. See, most often we use two words. I have great antipathy towards those who are hypocrites. However, in certain circumstances, we can use to also, we can use for also. Okay. So I have great antipathy uh, to those who are hypocrites. This also makes sense. I have great antipathy for those who are hypocrites. This also makes sense. Okay. This is also used. The most commonly used is towards, but to can also be used and for can also be used. So that's why this question itself is a little problematic. Right? No, no, bacha, this is not a recorded class. Otherwise, I would not be answering your questions, na? Okay. So let's see which one do you say is the correct sentence? Ashmita says C is correct. Others. All right. Sai says C. Okay. And yes, please listen to our team. If you're enjoying the session, then do press the like button. Okay. So I've got just two responses, but I think that was ample time to solve this question. Now, what is wrong with A? Whose are these cattles? Whose are these cattles? Do I need an S here? No. Cattle is a plural noun. By its very construction, that's how we put it in grammar. By its very construction, it is plural. So when you say cattle, you refer to all the farm animals, let's say, whom you keep for uh, farm purposes, right? So, for instance, cattle, right? So that's why S is the cattle are grazing the field. Okay, so not the cattles are grazing the field. All right, so A is incorrect. Sceneries, there is no such word as sceneries, right? Scenery of Kashmir. The scenery of Kashmir is very charming, not are very charming. So, scenery refers to all the scenes, the beautiful scenic beauty there, right? So, all of them collectively are referred to as scenery. No news is good news. Absolutely correct. This is the correct one, right? News is always singular. Just like cattle is always plural, news is always singular. Okay. He loves either your son or my. So I should say, or my son, if I want to use my. My cannot be used without a noun after it. Okay. So it has to be mine. So that is why D is also incorrect. Hence our answer is C. Absolutely correct. Those who said C. I want more responses. Come on. What has happened, guys? Yes. Okay. News is always singular. News is always singular, Monkey D. Luffy. If I want to talk about news items, they can be plural. Okay, but news in itself is always going to be singular. Okay. So you have to identify the sentences with the correct usage of verb. A and B, okay. Then some of you say B and C. All right. I should have numbered them actually. Hmm. Okay. So neither the gloves nor the scarf. Let's look at C once because that will eliminate two options for me, right? Neither the gloves nor the scarf. Whenever I have neither nor conjunction pair, so this is called a correlative conjunction pair, right? So if I say neither X nor Y, okay, neither X nor Y. So what does the, I mean, which number should the verb take? Should the verb be singular or plural? That is decided by what comes after nor. Okay, that is decided by this Y, not by X. So gloves is plural, I understand, but scarf is singular. Scarf is singular here. So neither the gloves nor the scarf needs washing. And that's why C becomes incorrect. The moment C becomes incorrect, these two options are eliminated. Now I know that A is correct for sure. So it comes down to B and D. It comes down to B and D. One or the other of you. See, one or the other of you have to compromise. Now, whenever again I have or X or Y, okay, X or Y. So again in this case, just like in neither nor case, it is Y that decides. So when I say the other, that means I'm talking about one person. So one or the other of you has to compromise. So B is incorrect. The answer is A and D. Okay, because the other is also one person, it is singular, so this one should be singular. So neither nor, either or they follow the same rule, either or, simply or, neither nor. Clear, I hope. And even nor, even if nor is alone, that also will follow the same rule. Look at D here. Each invoice and purchase order, the moment you use the word each, the verb has to be singular. It can't be have here, it has to be has. And what are the concepts that are being applied here? These concepts are concepts of subject verb agreement. It's a very popular topic that is asked in, I mean, a very popular concept that is questioned in grammar exams. Okay, exams that ask you grammar questions. So do prepare for this topic. Why is A correct? Even though there is an and here, these are not two separate activities. We are treating them as one activity. Okay, driving after drinking is a crime. So that is why this should be is in a way, because this is treated as one single activity. Hope this is clear to you. All right, then our answer is 3. Okay, 3 here. A and D are correct. All right. Now let's have a look at the fifth question. Find the correct part of speech for the underlined words. Okay, sorry, I forgot to underline the words. Able is the first word and L is the second word. Okay, so these are the underlined words. Now I want you to find the correct part of speech for them. Yes. Okay. All right. Some of you say that able is a noun. Okay, so of course, this first one is for able. Now, some of you must be wondering what kind of question is this? What is this er? So Napoleon said this. I didn't say this. And this came in Snap 2021. It's a memory-based question. So something similar came. Now you have to find the part of speech here. So see, that is why a knowledge of part of speech. Okay, which which part of speech does this word belong to? So is it a noun? Is it a verb? You should be able to identify this. Exams like Snap can ask you this. So he is an able person, or he is able. Let's say, let's make it very simple. He is able, right? So what is able doing here? Ask yourself this question always. It is telling me something about he. Yes, it is describing he. So what are such words called that describe a noun or a pronoun, so here a pronoun he, these words are called adjectives. The moment you realize that able is an adjective, you don't even need to worry about this er here. Okay, this er is a conjunction which means until. It's an old conjunction, it's an archaic conjunction as we put it. It's no longer used. But because this came in your exam, that's why I had to discuss it, right? So able is an adjective here because it describes this I here. Able was I. I was, so this person is trying to say, I was an able person. I was able until I saw Elba. So probably this guy is love struck that, I was an able person. I was capable of doing things until I saw Elba, right? So able describes I, adjective. Until is used as a conjunction here. Until, which here means er. Hope this is clear to you. Second is the answer here, right? So you need to delve deep into grammar if you want to excel in your OMATs, right? You need to be able to identify various parts of speech. You need to be able to spot errors, correct errors. Okay, let's fill in the blanks for now. Yes, let's see what you say. Okay, where are you guys? I want responses. I've got my first response. Others? Okay, A, all right. D, okay. Ashmita says D. Yes. What about others? Yes. Yogita, what do you say? All right. So there is a contrast here. There is a contrast here. So in fill in the blank questions, your first job is to read the statement, the entire statement carefully, right? Dash the importance of horizontal stratification, dash higher education is widely acknowledged, Okay, categorizing on a horizontal basis, right? So horizontal stratification dash higher education. So for instance, you have these three streams, right? Commerce, science, humanities. That is horizontal stratification, right? So dash the importance of horizontal stratification dash higher education is widely acknowledged. Dash attention has been applied to horizontal stratification dash compulsory schooling. So in higher education at the university level, we are recognizing this importance, but in compulsory schooling, we are not. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, if you look at these two, A, E, they start with whereas. Okay, whereas the importance of horizontal stratification, okay, with higher education, stratification is happening in this field, in the field of higher education. So, do these prepositions with and about, do they fit? So, even if you're not sure, see, I understand that whereas is also a contrast word, so it can create that confusion that yes, I need a contrast word, and whereas is a contrast word, so it fits. But the moment you look at with and about, you realize that A and E cannot be the answers, right? B, C, D all have while is a contrast word. So I while I was eating, my friend was watching TV, right? So I'm contrasting. While I was doing one activity, my friend was doing another activity. Okay, or while I was eating, my friend was fasting. A better contrast, right? So while the importance of horizontal stratification in a field, right? So within makes sense here. Within higher education. So within this field, within means I'm talking about the boundaries. So I'm sort of creating a boundary within this field is widely acknowledged, far less attention. Now, see, less makes perfect sense because I'm comparing the attention paid to horizontal stratification in higher education versus the attention paid to it in compulsory schooling. So, less makes perfect sense. Far less attention has been applied to horizontal stratification within compulsory schooling. So, within two fields, less because of comparison. Okay, and two less is also incorrect. Okay, because this is too less to eat. If I say this food is too less to eat, now it makes sense. Too less to eat. Two, two. Okay. So that is why this would make this pair of two makes better sense rather than using it singly here. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay. A, D. This is what I got. Did anyone say B? No. All right. B is the answer here. So my suggestion to you would be that please study conjunctions thoroughly, study prepositions thoroughly. Okay. Also study adjectives along with all their degrees, little, less, least. Okay. Adjectives and adverbs. This question made use of all these parts of speech. Right? Okay. Now spot the error in this one. He has won more medals than them. Spot the error. No error, okay. Than they, Ashmita says than they. Again, a concept that I have discussed time and again with you in, I mean, for various exams. So I discussed this when we were preparing for SNAP, when we were preparing for TISNET, for MHCT. Okay, let's have a look. He has won more medals than them is incorrect here. Okay, so no error is not the answer. The answer is they. All right, than they. Look at it very logically. Now, I understand that we all say them when we talk in our conversations, we say them, and I agree with you. But logically, also, this is not correct. See, two thoughts came to your mind. He has won medals. He has won medals. Okay, and they have won medals. These two thoughts came to your mind first. Then you wanted to compare. Then you wanted to compare the two. But he has won more medals. So he has won, that's why you added the idea more medals. You compared and you came to this conclusion. He has won more medals than, so because you were comparing, you added a than. They have, than they have. You just chose not to repeat this one medals because this was written once already. Than they have. That should be the sentence. And somehow English allows you, formal British English allows you to skip this have. It allows you to skip this have. Okay, so it says that this is the correct sentence. This is the correct comparison. He has won more medals than they. Okay, you're comparing a subject pronoun. You can't compare it to an object pronoun. You should compare it to another subject pronoun only, they. Hope this makes sense. D is the erroneous one here. So he has won more medals than they have. Have skipped. Then she is taller than I am. Am skipped. So she is taller than I and not she is taller than me. Right? We have discussed this quite a few times now. Let's have a look at this. Yes. Any error here? If yes, spot it quickly. Okay, C, all right. D, okay. No error, all right. Sai, what do you say? And what about other students? Shiv says C, okay, good. All right. So I've got two C's. That's encouraging. Yogita, what do you say? Akku? All right. Omkar, Radha Vinod. The cake was very rich as it was made of homemade butter, sugar, and cream. Made of. Is this correct? So, this is a very fine distinction. Okay, so there are distinctions when it comes to made from, made of, made out of, and made with. When we talk about the ingredients of food and drink, okay, when we talk about the ingredients of food and drink, we use made with. Made with. So look at this example here. Sushi is traditionally made with fish, right? So the ingredients of food here. All right. Then when do we use this made of? Look at this second sentence here. This necklace is made of silver. When we talk about the material, so here I'm talking about the metal. So when I talk about the material of something, this table is made of oak wood, right? So material of something, when I talk about that, then I use made of, right? But that was not the case here. So made of was incorrect. Let's look at made from and made out of also so that you are not confused between the two. When we say made from, okay, so plastic is made from oil, we indicate a manufacturing process. Okay, a manufacturing process is happening, made from. So a conversion of one thing to another through manufacturing. Then made out of, on the other hand, it indicates a transformation, a sort of an unexpected transformation at times. So for instance, she used her wine bottles and she converted them to candle holders. So she made those candle holders out of used wine bottles. right? So this indicates a best out of waste sort of a usage, a transformation sort of usage. So when I'm talking about this unexpected sort of transformation, then I use made out of. Right, so a lot of things can be made out of waste. So for instance, a lot of people make pots out of their used bottles, right? Pots for potting plants. So that is where we'll use made out of. Okay, so made from manufacturing, made of material, made out of transformation, usually unexpected, and made with for ingredients of food and drink. Right? I hope you'll remember this. Therefore, C had an error there. Let's see this one. Question 9. Yes. Again, spot the error for me. Identify the erroneous part. Let's see who answers the most quickly. A very short question, this one. Okay. I've got one response. What about others? You did not wait for us before you went to meet him. Okay, Ashmita says D is erroneous. Did you? Yes, the correct question tag will be did you? Absolutely correct. Okay. So this is there are certain grammar concepts that, let's say, this is not a main grammar concept, so to say, because question tags we usually use in our conversations, right? In written English, you would hardly use a question tag unless you're writing a novel where you're writing dialogues. So that is why a lot of times students neglect topics such as question tags, direct indirect speech, right? However, they can, questions from these have been asked in XAT, in SNAP, okay, and they can appear. They are not as regular as usual as, let's say, parts of speech, but they have appeared, right? So this is a question tag question. Now, whenever we add this question towards the end of our sentence, just to confirm what we are saying or just to emphasize what we are saying, that is called a question tag. Okay, it's a tailing question. Sometimes just to emphasize, we are not even expecting a response. And it always takes the opposite. So here a negative verb has been used. So here a positive verb will be used. So did not will become did. Okay, moreover, did will come first and the subject will come later. Did you? And then there will be a question mark. Okay, so if the verb is negative, the question tag is going to be positive. All right, perfect. So just showing you that you can have such topics also as part of your grammar questions that are asked in OMATs. All right, the last and the easiest question for the day. Let's see who answers this correctly. We have Dash in our showroom. So what do we have? Fastest fingers first. Okay. But monkey, can we use best? Best is the superlative adjective of the degree good, right? So good, better, best. And what do we use before the superlative degrees of adjectives? The biggest, the fastest, the slowest. We have to use the. So it has to be the best, isn't it? The best. So either C or D. Now, Ashmita says C, Rituja says C. Jaitra, you're absolutely right. It should be the best musical equipment, not equipments. So, see, you should know, just like, cattle is plural by construction, equipment is also one such noun. Equipment does not have a plural equipments. Furniture does not have a plural furnitures. Information does not have a plural informations. Right? So, equipment, furniture, they belong to the same category, and you do not have anything called equipments. Right? That's erroneous. The best musical equipment. D. All right. So this was about today. I hope this gave you an insight into what all you need to be well versed with. Nouns, and not just the nouns, but the number of nouns, right? So number, case, all of these topics, they become important. Number, person, case, etc. for nouns, pronouns. Parts of speech is something that I expect you to be well versed in. Then in a lot of your exams, specific questions on prepositions, particularly fill in the blanks, are asked. So that becomes an important area. Verbs and their properties. By their properties, I mean tenses, voice, mood. Okay, so tenses, active, passive voice, hypothetical conditionals, they come under subjunctive mood. These you should be well versed with. A and the, right, articles. Subject verb agreement, I have already told you. Modifiers and parallelism. So this is not as popular as, let's say, subject verb agreement or let's say prepositions, but yes, you do get these structure based questions also in the exam at times. So you need to be well versed with all these areas, right? Okay, and what is the importance of grammar beyond? See, grammar is not just important for your exams, for your WATs. When you write essays, when you write anything, you need to have good grammar, right? Otherwise, you can put your examiner off. In PIs, when you speak and you're speaking grammatically incorrect sentences, again that casts a bad impression. At your workplace, if you're an effective communicator, you'll be able to convince people better. And in life also, right, you talk to others, you write to others, you should have good grammar, okay, in order to be able to do these activities. So grammar is important for all these things, not just for your exams. So I hope, keeping this in mind, all of you will prepare for grammar, right? And yes, this is it from my side for today. uh, any questions that you have? CMAT update? No, we'll update you as soon as we get an update. All right, so don't worry about it. Okay, then I'll see you. Bye bye. Just give me a second. There's something. Uh, something seems to be a little off. Okay, fine. All right then. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Bye bye.